Marie Kondo took the world by storm when she told us to remove things from our lives that don't spark joy. Throughout history, the greatest philosophers and most influential thinkers of our time have all pondered this one question of what exactly causes happiness? Buddha said that there is no path to happiness. Rather, happiness is the path. While Nietzsche said that happiness is the feeling that power increases, that resistance is being overcome. Confucius once said that the more man meditates upon good thoughts, the happier will be his world and likewise the world at large. And for the past year, I've spent a lot of time exploring this one great thinker's thoughts on the subject. Throughout the pandemic, I, like so many of you, felt my mental health declining. I was cooped up inside with my family, no contact with my friends, and a new dog that probably needs to go to rehab for his addiction to my shoes. I don't know if this is just me, but my family blasts the heat like 24/7. It could be 85 degrees out and my sister will still be in front of the fireplace with 3 blankets and the furnace on, but I digress. I was looking for releases for my anxiety and things to do that were more productive than just, well, binging Netflix. And so I turned to meditation. Meditating became an amazing way for me to center myself and to rebalance my life, and was also just really peaceful. And so I fell in love with it. Meditating really did change my life. And after I fell in love with meditation, I realized that there was so much more to it. Meditating, again, did so much change my life. After I had this realization, I spent some time looking into different thinkers, philosophers' thoughts on the subject, because although I enjoyed meditating so much, it gave me purpose, it gave me drive, there was something missing. It wasn't a source of that happiness that I so longed for. And after reading up, I realized that Aristotle came the closest. He said, with just 4 words, happiness depends upon ourselves. Now, I'm a firm believer that the best things in life come to us when we least expect them. But that doesn't mean we should just wait around for good things to happen. As the old saying goes, carpe diem. If I want a hot dog, I'm not gonna just wander around hoping I pass by a hot dog stand. No, I'm gonna go on my phone and look up the nearest place to get a hot dog. Although, as I'm sure you all know, there's so much more to life and to happiness than hot dogs and those other small things like foods that we think will make us happy. And instead, I have a theory. Now, I'm no Aristotle, but, well, I got it down to 3 words, not 4, which are as follows. Spontaneity induces happiness. All too often, we get stuck in our comfort zones and what I like to call psychological echo chambers. Echo chambers are generally defined as environments wherein a person only encounters opinions and information that reflect and reinforce their own. Now, psychological echo chambers are pretty similar, except, well, they're all in your head. By my definition, psychological echo chambers are the dangerous sense of comfort that humans are susceptible to through routine. Now, what does that mean? I like to say that living comfortably is the same as living one day, 365 days in a year. Living in a psychological echo chamber means crafting a life with no variance and no room to grow or to learn. But that's not to say that living in a routine and having a 9-to-5 job will make you unhappy. Instead, it's my belief that how you craft that routine and how you spend your time, say, outside of the 9-to-5 job, largely affects our ability to find and attain happiness. Let's take an example. Let's say you live in a routine. What's the most boring job you can think of? Just shout it out. Accountant? Yeah, let's go with that. So let's say you're an accountant. You wake up at 7 a.m., take your dog for a walk, eat your scrambled eggs, you go to work, do your accounting things, filing taxes. Forgive me, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a professional, don't know what that is, a lot of what they do. But you do your accounting things, you come home, do some dishes, and you curl up with a good book. And now, in my opinion, that sounds like an amazing day because I love dogs and books and scrambled eggs. But even if that is your day every single day for a year, that doesn't mean that there's no room for variance. If we take the book, for example, when you finish your book, 99% of the time, you're going to put it down and pick up a new one. And while it may be your habit to pick up your new book from the same genre or even the same author, I encourage you to step out of that comfort zone, to try something new, to break your psychological echo chamber. Instead of reading more Hemingway, pick up an action novel. I grew up idolizing action heroes. Jack Bauer, Jason Bourne, you name it. But James Bond was always my favorite. He was impossibly suave and charismatic and, well, spontaneous. And so a few years ago, I tried doing a Bond movie marathon, and I ended up getting bored somewhere between Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan. And that's when I came to a key realization, that I'd essentially been buying into what was the exact same movie over and over again. Even 007, who's assigned to some dangerous, impossible mission and meets a supermodel and rescues her and saves the world, can get kind of boring 26 times over. My point is, anything repeated can and will become mundane, no matter how action-packed or exciting it is. But then why is it that movies are so exciting? Why are the Bond movies so enjoyable, even though they're so repeated? Why do we enjoy them so much? And why are they still some of the highest-grossing films of all time? It's not because they change miniature details like the location or the villain. It's because they appeal to society's taste, just the same as any other movie. We enjoy movies as escapes from the reality that we live in. They allow us to step into worlds that would otherwise be impossible for an accountant. We blow up intergalactic battle stations. We go to school to learn magic. We hunt for invaluable treasures. Because deep down, we all crave spontaneity. We crave the unknown. Except sometimes the unknown can be terrifying, especially when it approaches us in real life and not behind a screen. And we end up burying ourselves into what we do know, into routine. And if we're not careful, we stop growing and we stop learning. A lot of the reason why we end up in those psychological echo chambers is because we're scared. Spontaneity can be scary, even anxiety-inducing for a lot of people. We end up scared of going beyond the realm of what we already know. But what if I told you that remaining in your comfort zone and learning are impossible to do at the same time? And you're thinking to yourself, Shiv, what are you on? Like, learning is part of school, which is dull and boring, right? Wrong. Learning means opening your mind up to new ideas, which is kind of the entire premise of spontaneity. Taking a class in, say, history means recognizing the fact that you don't already fully understand the subject, and you're then enabling yourself to go beyond the realm of your knowledge. No one becomes a historian with just the facts that they learned about Christopher Columbus in the 5th grade. If you want to be a historian, you're going to explore different diverse subjects, probably boring subjects like the French monarchy. Now, growing as a person is the same. If you want to grow, you need to explore. You're not going to eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches and play with Power Rangers every single day like you did in the 5th grade. You're going to try new, exciting things like chicken wings. And you're thinking to yourself again, man, this kid is off his rocker. First he's telling me that learning is spontaneous, and now he's saying that chicken wings are new and exciting. And yeah, you're probably right, especially about me being off my rocker. But chicken wings seem like a typical generic food, except at some point, they were new to you. Unless you're a vegetarian, of course, but that's beside the point. Living spontaneously means opening your mind up to new ideas, to daring to bend, to introducing new things into your life, even at micro levels. You don't start with teaching a 5th grader about the beheading of Marie Antoinette. You start small, and to live spontaneously, you must do the same. You start by introducing new things into your life and recognizing the room for that variance. At 2 a.m. on Christmas Day this year, I had just finished up watching some movie or the other with my family, and I remember it was thundering like there was no tomorrow. Pouring rain, howling wind, ear-splitting thunder, the works. And for some reason that I still don't think I can really quite explain, my mind told my body to go outside. And mind you, I wasn't wearing like a coat and pants like I am now. I remember how my family blasts the heat? I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts in the dead middle of winter. And with that in mind, I go outside and decide now is going to be a great time to do something productive. And well, what else hits me but to meditate? So I grab a chair, I sit down, and I start meditating. I feel the rain pounding against my skin. I feel the wind blowing my overly long hair in my face. I hear my dog running around trying to get my attention. And through it all, I wasn't expecting anything out of it, out of this action. I was just sitting there, enjoying my decision to be spontaneous and breathing and meditating in a thunderstorm. Meditating is often perceived to be a dull and monotone action, and you might even consider it to be the polar opposite of spontaneity, and you would be right. Even the ancient roots of meditation in Hinduism involve chanting and repeating, like how you've seen people going Om for hours on end. And a lot of people, in fact, most people who do meditate on a regular basis make it some form of a routine. They do it when they first wake up in the morning or before or after a meal. And when I tried to do the same throughout the pandemic, when I made meditating a part of my schedule, I found myself in a deadly cycle of wanting to meditate less the more I did it. See, the more that I meditated, the more balanced I felt, and the less I felt a need to actually meditate. And I would end up right back on Netflix. But that one act, that decision to be spontaneous, to meditate spontaneously and meditate in a thunderstorm, changed my life. Because it brought joy back to a practice that had been monotone in my life and the lives of so many others. And it helped me break down my attempts to build a routine. And instead it replaced it by helping me build a foundation in my mind and body to meditate when I wanted to, on my own terms, spontaneously. See, that's a lot of the reason why I love spontaneity so much. It's all about doing the things that you're not supposed to do and beating the system. You're supposed to meditate on yoga mats, not in the middle of thunderstorms. You're supposed to have picnics in parks on benches or blankets in the middle of the day, not on your roof at midnight. You're supposed to make plans with people, not call them up randomly and say, we're going on an adventure. After I had my little epiphany about this idea that spontaneity induces happiness, I realized I wanted to share it. So I started by calling up my 20 closest friends, and I made them the following promise. I said, I'm going to take you on an adventure, and we're going to do something spontaneous and completely out of your comfort zone. And you won't know what it is, what we're doing, when it is, until we're actually in the moment doing it, being spontaneous. And I did exactly that. I took someone stargazing for the first time in their lives, and I took another friend to drive towards the sun until it set, and I took someone else to hand out flowers to strangers. And it was amazing. Spontaneity changed my life. So I made the commitment to be spontaneous throughout 2021 and for the rest of my life, and to help others do the same. So today, I'm up here, not only just to encourage you to break out of your psychological echo chambers, but to ask you a question. How are you going to be spontaneous today? Thank you.